Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Sheriff's car pays particular attention. A murder. The body of a young woman found in the Mojave Desert near Lancaster. That's all. Rosenquist.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When you buy gasoline, do you give any thought to your purchase? Or do you buy just any gasoline? Do advertising claims for quick starting, mileage, pickup, power, or confusing technicalities influence you in your purchase? Rio Grande offers primarily one important fact. Rio Grande Cracked gives you police car performance in your gasoline. That is why in the great Southwest, where Rio Grande products are sold, so many police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment are powered by Rio Grande Cracked. Police performance in the gasoline demands all the qualities you hear or see advertised. Quick starting, pickup, power, mileage, uniform quality. When you buy Rio Grande Cracked, you know that all the best work and all the test work on gasoline has been done for you by those to whom gasoline quality means most. And the overwhelming approval of Rio Grande Cracked by police and fire departments is your proof that you cannot buy a better gasoline for your car. Buy Rio Grande Cracked for dependable, satisfying performance, and it will settle your gasoline problem for good. And now, Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Good evening, friends. At the annual convention of the International Association for Identification, just closed at Long Beach, the Los Angeles Police Department Bureau of Identification was voted the most efficient of its kind in the United States. This bureau was organized several years ago under the direction of Captain Howard L. Barlow, who shares with me his enthusiasm for an international fingerprint system which will place in the files of the federal government fingerprints of all criminal types, readily accessible to law enforcement agencies. At the same time, it will provide an identification of all citizens, making possible quick identification of them for their families and for officers of the law when they are made the victims of criminals. The story I bring to you tonight is one which will, I believe, convince all who hear it of the crying need for a universal fingerprint system. Had it not been for our Identification Bureau, perhaps the murder of the unfortunate Ida Mae Cerny would never have been punished. I want you to listen carefully, following with our police officers along the thin thread of evidence which brought to justice this murderer. I want you to visualize the difficulty encountered by your peacetime soldiers in running down a definite enemy of society. I believe as this story unfolds, you will become more and more conscious of how important it is to keep fingerprint identification of all persons on file against the time it is needed to track down a criminal or save an innocent citizen from dire disaster or the ignominy of a nameless grave. Professor Lindsley will now go on with the story.
It is the 22nd of October in 1932. In the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Substation at Lancaster in the Mojave Desert, A summer languor still lingers on the hot breezes coming across the sagebrush. Flies buzz against the screen, and nothing, it seems, ever happens in the sleepy little desert town. When suddenly the siesta silence is broken as a wild-eyed desert rat rushes into the office.
There's the sheriff. I gotta see the sheriff right away. Are you the sheriff?
No, I'm deputy in charge here. The sheriff's in Los Angeles. Yeah, what's the matter?
I just found a dead woman off the road.
Huh? A dead woman? Where?
Off the road, about 5 miles on the turnoff to my old ranch.
Who are you?
My name is Fred Storm. I'm on my feet a little late. I got a job up there. And about a month ago, I tore down the shack I had down the road. It was a mining claim, and there was nothing on it.
Well, how about the dead woman?
I'm coming to that. So I forgot a nail bar at the shack, and I'm going to leave it in my shop a little late. So I stopped by the shack to get it. When I turned up the road, here was this dead woman with no clothes on.
Are you sure she was dead?
Oh, yeah, she was dead, all right.
Where is this place?
Well, it's about 5 miles north and a half a mile east off the main road.
Show me on the map.
Yeah, let's not say this is, yes. Oh, yeah, here, it's right here.
Well, that's over in San Bernardino County. Now, I'll call Sheriff Sharp right away.
San Bernardino County officers lose no time in getting to the scene of the crime. Warren's story is found to be true, and no suspicion is cast on him regarding the murder. For murder it is found to be when Dr. Louisa Bacon of the San Bernardino County Hospital reports that the victim came to her death as the result of a multiple linear fracture at the hand of a person or persons unknown. However, there is no clue to the identity of the murdered woman, and police are momentarily stopped in their search for the murderer by their ignorance of the identity of the person murdered. The victim is totally unclothed, and the only clues found at the scene of the crime are tire marks, which, although possibly valuable in later identifications, are worthless as a beginning. There remains one meager hope on which the police rely. They fingerprint the dead woman and send the print into the Los Angeles Sheriff's Office to be checked. It isn't long before Deputy Sheriff Brewster of Los Angeles County has Sheriff Shaw of San Bernardino on the long-distance phone.
Sheriff, we've identified that murder victim.
Who is she?
Her name is Ida Mae Cerny.
Oh, she had a record, eh?
Yeah, not exactly. In 1930, we arrested her and her husband, Gus Cerny, on suspicion of robbery. They'd been friends of a guy we had for a holdup.
Oh, I see.
They cleared themselves okay, and we released them. Now we've located Cerny's sister and her husband here in Los Angeles. We've got his address. The sister hasn't seen either of them for 3 weeks, but here's a tip you can run down.
What's that?
Cerny's mother lives in San Bernardino.
She does?
Yeah?
What's her address?
Just a minute, I'll get it for you.
I'm going to send one of the boys down to talk to her right away.
Deputy Sheriffs Oxnard and Farley promptly visit Gus Cerny's mother. They explain their mission and show the old lady a picture of Ida Mae's body. She looks at it a long time in silence.
Well, Mom?
It might be Ida Mae. Oh, no, it can't be her. Why, I had dinner with Gus and Ida Mae just 2 weeks ago. They were both well and happy, and besides, her sister lives just 2 doors from the children, and would have notified me if there was anything wrong with them.
How long has your son been married to this girl?
Why, about 3 years.
What's his business?
Well, he's a telephone lineman by trade.
Does he drive a car?
Yes, a blue Chrysler.
License number?
License number? I don't know it.
We want to get to the bottom of this, ma'am. I wonder if you'd come with us to Victorville and look at the body.
Why, yes, if you want me to. Oh, but I'm sure the poor girl is not Ida Mae.
But the mother-in-law's conviction disappears in the mortuary in Victorville. And just before she faints, She positively identifies the murder victim as Ida Mae Cerny. Next day, the responsibility of the investigation of the crime passes to the Los Angeles Police Department, when Deputy Sheriff William Bright, during a visit to the Cerny's home, discovers evidence that the crime was committed there. Within a half hour, Inspector Davidson and Lieutenant Philkes join Bright at the little house on Laclede Avenue.
Well, Captain, here we are. What's first?
Your case, Inspector?
Yeah. Well, not much sign of murder here in the living room.
Perhaps not, but look into the bedroom here.
Good Lord. Shambles. Come on, just go over this room for fingerprints. Tinker, you want these blood-stained bed sheets for analysis?
Yeah. I'd better cut away sections of this woodwork, too.
Well, go ahead.
Looks like whoever did it dumped out the contents of the suitcase from the way those clothes are strewn around the bed.
Yeah, looks that way. Here's a cushion from a railroad seat. It's getting easier to reconstruct this crime every minute.
As I read your thoughts, whoever did it killed her here and put the body into the rumble seat of the car and drove it out to the desert.
That's about it.
Well, I don't know whose car you'll be looking for, but here's a line on one car.
What's this?
A payment notice from the finance company for monthly installments on Cerny's car. You wouldn't be looking for that one, would you, Inspector?
Well, you never can tell, Captain. Never can tell. Be a good thing to get the license number from the finance company anyway. I'd sort of like to talk to Cerny.
Well, in any case, you'll want to talk to Ida Mae's cousin.
Cousin?
Yeah.
Where she live?
Just 2 doors down the street.
While the fingerprint expert and the photographer are taking care of the routine matters at the Cerny residence, Inspector Davidson interviews Ida Mae's cousin.
Why, I talked to Ida Mae on the night of the 18th. She and Gus were getting ready to go to Palm Springs to look for work, and she wanted to borrow a cord for her electric iron. So I lent it to her, and I told her to bring it right back, but she didn't, and I needed it to make coffee this morning.
Just a minute, ma'am. You didn't see her after the 18th?
No. I sent a boy over after the cord, but there was no one at home, so I suppose she'd gone off to Palm Springs like she said she was going to do.
Weren't you worried when you didn't hear from her?
Oh, no. Gus and Ida Mae often went away and stayed a week without writing to anyone.
Did they ever fight with each other?
No. They always seemed very happy together. Oh, but I heard an argument once.
Oh?
Well, not really a fight, but Gus couldn't understand why Ida Mae didn't try to get some of the money that was coming to her from an estate or, I don't know, something.
Oh, you'd inherited some money, huh?
Well, yes, but, it was tied up in some way or another. And Gus thought she should try to get it right away because they were both broke. Well, of course, it's none of my business, but
Well, Philkes, there's a possible motive in this inheritance business. It may be that Ida Mae came into some money and Gus killed her for it.
Yes, that's a possibility, Inspector.
I've obtained the number of Gus Cerny's car from the finance company, and I've wired all the inspection stations at the borders of the state to be on the lookout for him. Until he shows up to prove his innocence, he looks like the guilty party to me.
Well, I can't find any other possible suspects in the case.
I want you to go out and interview this attorney. Here's his name and address. He's supposed to be handling Ida Mae's inheritance. See what he knows about it and report back to me as soon as you can.
Yes, sir.
Why, yes, Lieutenant, I'm handling an inheritance for Mrs. Cerny.
What does it consist of?
Well, an aunt of hers died some time ago in Eaton, Ohio, and left her a tidy little sum, several $1,000s, which she was to get when she became 21.
Yes?
Well, Mrs. Cerny came to me recently and asked me to try to get her an advance of $800. 400 of this was to be put into the down payment of their car, and the remainder to be used for monthly payments.
Was Mr. Cerny aware of this?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, he was quite agreeable to it. That is, to the down payment, but I believe they had some argument about the use of the other 400.
Is that so?
Yes. It seems Cerny wanted to use it for living expenses, and Ida May insisted that he should try harder to get some work.
Well, was she in possession of any large sum of money at the time of her death?
No, not to my knowledge. That is, certainly not from the estate.
Thank you, Mr. Shoemaker. What you've told us clears up one angle of the investigation.
Following the interview with the attorney, Silkus travels to the scene of the crime accompanied by San Bernardino deputy sheriff and the photographer. Minutely, they investigate the wheel tracks made by the murder car.
There's a big difference in the tracks of these two rear tires. Notice, Sheriff, that although they're worn smooth in the center, you can see the bead at the side. See, the right rear has a sort of a knobby tread, and the left rear has a diamond-shaped mark.
That's right, Lieutenant. We can only find a blue Chrysler Roadster. It'll be a cinch to spot it by the tires.
But why he went to such an effort to cart the body all the way out here is beyond me.
Well, Lieutenant, any desert rat could tell you that.
Why, what's the answer?
Simple. See these prints in the sand here around the spot where the body was found?
Yes?
Coyote tracks. They live north there on those low hills. The wind was fortunately coming from that direction up until the time we found the body. And then it shifted to the south, and the coyotes came. Now, if the wind had been right, the murderer of that woman would be beyond any possibility of capture. All that would have been left here would be a pile of bones.
Upon his return to headquarters, Silkus is summoned to Inspector Davidson's office.
I just received word from you, Milwaukee, that our blue Chrysler Roadster, license number 1Z8106, checked through there at 4 a.m., October 20th.
Good. Who was driving it?
Yeah, they don't take the names down there anymore.
They ought to make our work easier.
But according to the investigations you've made, what cities has Cerny lived in?
Just a minute. I've got the list here someplace. Yeah, here it is. He's lived in Chicago, Miami, Denver, Oklahoma City, El Paso, San Antonio, Ames, Iowa, and Heron, Illinois.
All right. Send a telegram to the chief of police in each of those cities asking him to arrest Gus Cerny for murder.
In an effort to discover more definitely what Cerny's destination might be, Silkus once more interviews Gus's brother-in-law.
Well, Mr. Harris, we've gotten word that Gus's car went through Yuma on the morning of the 20th.
That looks bad, doesn't it?
The newspaper we found in the house on McLeod Street was dated the 18th. That would seem to establish the murder around that date. 2 days later, he leaves the state. Anyway, we've asked the police in every town he's lived in to be on the lookout for him to arrest him for murder.
Well, if he did this thing, I want to see him brought back and prosecuted to the fullest extent.
We police officers seldom meet an attitude like that, Mr. Harris.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, blood is thicker than water.
Yes, I know. Of course, Gus is only my brother-in-law. But when I say I want to see him answer for this crime if he did it, I speak for my wife as well as Gus's other brothers.
That's fine, Mr. Harris, and it's going to make our job easier. Now, tell me, is there any more light you can throw on this case?
Well, there's one thing that you might want to know.
What's that?
It's something the family had agreed to keep quiet about.
Mm-hmm.
Several years ago, Gus married a girl named Mary Young in Carbondale, Illinois. Later, he deserted her and her baby and came to California. He met Ida May and married her in Tijuana. About 3 months ago, Gus and Ida May went east for a visit. Now, I don't know whether Ida May found out about it then or not. But when Gus came back, he said he was afraid Mary's family would make trouble for him and Ida May.
So, he's a bigamist in any case.
Yes, I guess that's right.
Well, thanks for that piece of dope, Mr. Harris. We'll wire Carbondale and find out if he's been there.
Silkus wires Carbondale authorities, and 2 days later, he excitedly enters Davidson's office.
Well, Inspector, the trail's getting hot.
What do you got?
Telegram from the chief at Carbondale.
What does it say?
Gus Cerny here, October 23rd. Left same night. Believed headed for Chicago.
Good. Wire the Chicago police.
Now, wait a minute, Inspector. They're not sure he's headed for Chicago. And anyway, we've already asked Chicago as well as those other towns to look for him.
Well?
I found out today that Gus Cerny borrowed $10 from a gang foreman when he couldn't get his paycheck on the 19th. He's hard up. He's going to wire his family here for money as sure as I'm a day old.
Fine. Then in that case, make arrangements with Western Union to send us any telegrams addressed to any members of the Cerny family.
Oh, but the family will cooperate. Mr. Harris said he'd let us know just as soon as they got word.
Just the same, Filkers, we don't depend on that. Line up the Western Union and get any telegrams that are coming before they do.
Days later, a telegram arrives in Los Angeles addressed to Cerny's brother and requesting him to send $10 to Gus at a certain Western Union office in Chicago. 2 hours before the telegram is delivered, see, it is in the hands of the Los Angeles police. And by the time it's delivered, Chicago police have been tipped off and are staked out on the indicated Western Union office. The vigil of the two detectives is finally rewarded when a blue Chrysler Roadster pulls up before the telegraph office. The officers watch it from their car.
Well, there's a blue Roadster. Chrysler, too.
Yeah, with California plates.
Yeah, check the number.
1Z8106.
Mm-hmm. That ought to be him.
Well, let's let him get into the office and claim his telegram.
Okay. He's going in now. We better move toward the door.
All right, come on.
Looks like our man, all right. Answers the description.
Yeah, that's the guy. What'd he do, Ed? Do you know?
Yeah, bumped off his wife, according to the lieutenant.
What's criminal about that? I know a lot of wives that ought to be bumped off.
Here he comes.
Okay, what's his name?
Cerny.
Cerny. All right. You're under arrest, Cerny.
What? You're under arrest.
What for?
You're wanted for murder in Los Angeles.
Some mistake.
Well, we can talk that over down at the detective bureau. We got orders to bring you in, so you better come along peaceably.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Although Gus Cerny maintains an uncommitting silence, he agrees to sign a waiver of extradition. Lieutenants Baggett and Silkus are appointed state agents by District Attorney Buren Pitt and sent to Chicago to bring Cerny back. Less than a week later, Silkus and Baggett face Cerny in the Cook County Jail.
Well, I'm sort of glad to see you guys. The accommodations in this jail aren't exactly the same as the Palmer House.
Yeah, I guess that's right, Cerny.
Have a good trip, Gus? Yeah, okay. I made pretty good time. Did your car hold up okay? Yeah, worked like a dream.
Any tire trouble?
Nope. Well, that is just one flat at Cobden, Illinois. And all the tires that were on your car when you left California are still on it. Yeah, that's right. Listen, fellas, what do you care about tires? You came after me, apparently. What do you want me for? Come on, let me in on it.
Well, let's not go into that tonight, Gus. You're tired, and so are we. Go back to your cell. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Armed with Cerny's admission that the blue Chrysler carries the same tires with which it had left California, the two detectives investigate the car the next morning.
Now, let's see. The left rear was the diamond tread. It isn't on the car.
Take a look at the spare. That might be the one he changed.
Yeah, here it is, diamond tread. Same as the tracks in the desert. Now about the right rear.
It's got notes on it. This is a car, all right.
Okay, now let's get a look at that rumble seat. Cushion's gone.
Check another time.
Baggett, while I'm looking around this rumble seat, see if there's a toolkit in the car.
Right. Yeah, here's one in the pocket.
Fine, and look what I found.
What?
Under the mat in the rumble seat, blood stain.
Say, that guy must be nuts leaving all this evidence around.
Let's see what's in that toolkit.
Okay. Wrench, tire pump, screwdriver. Uh-oh.
What's that?
Looks like a lineman's tool. Cerny was a lineman, wasn't he?
Yep.
And look at it. Stained with blood.
That's what he killed her with. Cerny is as good as swinging right now.
Silkus and Baggett lose no time getting back to the jail to interview Cerny.
Well, Gus, we're ready to talk to you now.
What do you want? What's it all about? We're going to question you about the disappearance of your wife, Ida May, and your sudden departure from Los Angeles at the same time.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, we already know that you killed your wife as she lay in bed in the house on Laclede Street. And we know you threw the cushion out of the rumble seat of your roadster, threw her body in, and then drove out to the desert and left her body where you thought it would never be found. Now we want the whole story, Gus, if you choose to tell us. If you don't, we've got enough to hang you anyway.
Well, I guess you got me. I may as well tell you everything.
You understand that whatever you say now will be used against you in court.
I understand.
Why did you kill her?
I don't know.
Did you kill her with this pair of pliers?
I don't know. Maybe. I always kept a kit of tools in the kitchen. Maybe that's what I used.
When did you do it?
About 10 or 11 o'clock on the 18th, just after we went to bed. I was going to give myself up. I drove down to the city hall and sat outside for an hour or more, trying to get up enough guts to go in and do it.
Was the body in the car then?
Yeah.
Why didn't you give yourself up?
I don't know.
What did you do after you left the city hall?
Well, I drove out into the desert. I sat on the running board of the car out there for a long time, trying to figure out what to do. And finally, I took her out and left her there in the desert.
Then what'd you do?
I went back to San Fernando and tried to get my paycheck. I couldn't. I borrowed $10 from the foreman, and then I went back to the house. So I packed my bag and I left for Yuma. I drove straight through and stopped in Carbondale to see Mary, my wife.
When did you marry her?
Who, Mary?
Yeah.
Oh, about 8 years ago.
You ever been divorced from her?
No, sir.
Did you go through a marriage ceremony with Ida Mae in Tijuana?
Yes.
Knowing at the time you weren't divorced from Mary.
Yes.
Is it true that you feared revenge from Mary or her family because you were bigotously married to Ida Mae?
Where did you hear that?
Never mind. Is it true?
Now, you've been talking to Harris. That's what I told him.
Is it true?
No, Mary wouldn't do anything to me. Why, she's the sweetest girl in the world. She's been willing to take me back.
Why did you kill Ida Mae?
I don't know.
Was it because you wanted to return to Mary and your
I
child?
don't know. I tell you, I don't know. I did it, and I've confessed. Now let me alone. But I don't know why I did it.
And Gus Thurney continued to claim that he didn't know why he killed Ida Mae. He never has confessed his motives. But motives did not concern us with such a splendid case our officers had constructed. Silkus and Baggett brought Gus back to Los Angeles, and he was booked at the Los Angeles County Jail on November 29, 1932. A few days later, the grand jury indicted him on a murder charge. He pleaded not guilty, and not guilty by reason of insanity, and repudiated his confession. We had expected that, but we were confident in our case. Apparently, he saw how strong it was, for on January 9, 1933, he withdrew his plea of not guilty and fell back on the insanity defense. On February 14th, having changed counsel, he withdrew the insanity plea and threw himself on the mercy of the court. That was a wise move and saved his life, for Judge Aguilar sentenced him to serve the remainder of his natural life in San Quentin prison.
Thank you, Chief Davis. Just as police, fire, and other emergency equipment in your cities and counties depend upon Rio Grande cracked gasoline, so the internationally known Sinclair oils are used and approved by public service companies and corporations whose judgment on lubricating oils you may well respect. Your Navy uses 1,600,000 gallons of Sinclair oils for protection of their motors and fighting equipment. Your Army depends upon Sinclair oils for the lubrication of their trucks, tanks, guns, and other costly machinery. 52 railway systems fight friction and wear with Sinclair oil. 150 airlines, airplane manufacturers, and flying fields have tested, approved, and now use Sinclair oil. For your own sake, don't buy cheap bulk oils when you can buy Sinclair Opaline in sealed, tamper-proof, extra-measure cans for only 25 cents a quart. It will save you money and save your motor. The new radio log for August is now available, containing a complete list of forthcoming cases to be broadcast on Calling All Cars and another Rio Grande program. Drive into your neighborhood Rio Grande service station tomorrow and ask for the August radio log. It's free.
Los
Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Cancellation broadcast 37 regarding a murder. Suspect in this case now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
Calling all cars is based on the confidential files of the Los Angeles Police Force and is written and produced by William N. Robson. The orchestra is under the direction of Frederick Stark. And this is Frederick Lindsley bidding you good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. 1235 Stanford Avenue. An officer shot. Get over there, boys. That's all. Rosenquist.
Ladies and gentlemen, why do we buy any certain branded product? Probably for one or two reasons. Because it is highly recommended by people who know more about it than we do, or because we have proved its value to ourselves. You cannot appreciate the value or satisfaction of Sinclair Opaline motor oil in your car until you have tried it for yourself. But we can give you recommendations of such value that you will want to have the protection for your motor that Sinclair Opaline can give you. Listen, please. Your Navy uses Sinclair oil. Your Army uses Sinclair oil. 52 railway systems, 150 airlines, airplane manufacturers, and airports depend upon Sinclair oil as protection to their costly motors and equipment. For your own sake, don't make the costly mistake of believing that most any oil is good enough for your car. Oil may be of as little lubrication value as melted butter. Sinclair Opaline will make your engine run longer and smoother. This you will discover for yourself. But what about the price of this internationally known extra-refined Sinclair Opaline, sealed in tamper-proof cans? Most of you know the answer. Only 25 cents a quart. Therefore, insist on Sinclair Opaline, sold at all Rio Grande stations. And again, we are pleased to bring to you Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department, who has a personal message for you.
Good evening, friends. In dealing with the public, the average policeman finds that every man has an inherent spark of honor which never dies, no matter how much he disagrees with society's concept of right or wrong. 22 years of police work has not blasted this conviction in my own heart, and I have found in this work innumerable situations justifying this belief in human beings. The successful police officer makes it a policy to deal with the criminal element first as man to man, treating him as a free man, with the age-old theory that every person is deemed to be innocent until proved to be guilty. In the case we bring you this evening, this policy was followed by Inspector Hawtrey, head of the Police Communication Division, as the officer capable of receiving results because of its application. Professor Lindsley will now go on with the story.
Our story tonight takes us back to the historical days of Prohibition, when liquor enforcement was a large part of the policeman's duty. On a certain fall evening nearly 10 years ago, Patrolman Ashton, Leslie, and Carney are detailed to investigate reported bootlegging activities on Stanford Avenue. Having visited several alleged beer flats and having found nothing, they approach the house at 12:35 and ring the bell.
Well, this looks like a hot one. You can even smell the stuff out here.
Yes, but smelling it and getting evidence are two different things.
That's right. Here comes someone.
What do you... Hey, dump it, Ma. It's the boat.
Don't let him get away, Ashton.
I couldn't help it. He dashed right by us.
Well, never mind. Let's get in this joint and see if we can get some evidence. Ashton, you and Leslie look around here. There's something doing upstairs. I'm going to see what it is.
Right, but watch your steps. This Ella Watson that runs this dump is a hard dame.
Don't worry. I'll take care of myself.
Hey, what's going on here? Oh, so you're destroying the evidence, eh? Come on, give me that bottle.
Have you, copper?
Come on, give it to me. Come on.
Hey, let me go, will you? Help me.
Come on. Come on. Well, it didn't break anyway. Hey, come back here. Ashton, Leslie, stop that dame. She's trying to get away. Well, how about it? Wait.
Get away, Connie. Out the back door.
Yeah, what a swell score that is for us tonight. 2 birds slip out on us in as many minutes.
Yeah, but look what we found.
Well, what's that?
2 suitcases full of silverware, jewelry, and furs. Look at them, all hot, I'll bet.
Sure. Look here, I better stay here with this stuff and stake out for that kid. You and Leslie knock over those other 2 places, and then come back here for me.
Okay, and don't let anybody else get away.
Don't worry, it won't happen the next time. Hello, Ella. What's the big idea walking around the street with no coat on? You'll catch cold.
Oh, gee, Curly, I'm glad I run into you.
All right, what's the matter, Ella?
Hey, it's the bulls, boys. They just knocked me over.
They did.
Yeah, Tommy warned me in time to start dumping the stuff, but one of them got a bubble. Well, I don't care about the bootlegging rats, but you boys have got that hot stuff of yours popped in.
Gee, that's right. And we don't want you to take a rap for that, Ella. Are they still there?
Yeah, one of them is. 3 of them come in, and I saw 2 of them leave the house again.
How about it, boys? Let's go in there and get that stuff away from the copper. Down with you, Curly. Okay, let's go.
Take him out, Copper.
What do you want?
I want you to reach for the clouds, Sally. Now get back in the house. Go on, get back.
Oh, say, stop taunting me with that gun.
Catch your strap, or I'll use it the way it should be used on coppers. Take his gun, Otis. Get his flashlight and cuffs, Fred.
Okay.
There you are. Okay, boys. Well, Copper, you made your last pinch, you dirty... Come on, boys. Grab those bags and take it on the lamp, quick.
Operator. Police headquarters. Hurry. Hello. Hello? This is Connie. I've just been shot. Yes, it's 1235 Stanford Avenue. Yes, I guess you better get out here pretty quick.
In record time, the famed Los Angeles Flying Squadron streams through downtown streets to Stanford Avenue. They remove Carney to the receiving hospital, where it's discovered that he's not seriously hurt. After his wound has been dressed, he reports to Chief of Detectives George K. Holmes, who visits him at his bedside.
You see, sir, when he said that, I just had time to throw my hand up, and that's why they got me in the arm. If I hadn't done that, I'd be a dead cop right now.
You showed fine presence of mind, Carney. Now tell me, can you describe the man who shot you?
Yes, sir. I can describe all 3 of them. The one that fired the gun's about 5 feet, 8, 150 pounds, greenish blue eyes, and sandy curly hair.
That's Curly Richards. He's just out of the pen. I've been expecting to hear from him. Then one of the other men was a little taller, thin, with black hair and a star on his forehead.
Why, yes. How did you know?
That's Otis Mullen. He pals with Richards. Yeah, he's a bad one, too.
Well, you certainly have a memory, sir.
Just part of the business, Carney. Now, how about the 3rd man?
Oh, he was young. Oh, about 20, about Richard's height, gray eyes, brown hair.
Don't recognize him. Poultry.
Yes, sir?
I'm going to assign you, Evans and Jackson, to this case. I don't need to remind you that shooting a policeman is to us a greater crime than the law books have a penalty for. These men must be brought in.
Yes, sir. I'll get on it right away.
A check through the files of the Bureau of Criminal Identification proves Chief Holmes' memory to be correct. Both Richards and Mullen have but recently been released from the state penitentiary. Their descriptions are printed in the police bulletin, and copies are sent all over the country. And then Detectives Hawtrey and Evans interview Ella at her establishment on Stanford Avenue.
Ellen, We want to ask you some questions about that shooting the other night.
Well, I don't know nothing about it. I wasn't here.
So we understand, but a couple of good friends of yours were.
Oh, I don't know who you mean.
Yeah, then we'll tell you. We mean Curly Richards and Otis Molan.
I don't know him.
Oh, yes, you do.
They seem to know their way around the place pretty well.
I don't know anything about him.
Come on, Ella, don't be that way. Where are Richards and Mullen?
I don't know. Them boys never tell me when
Oh, so you do know them.
Well...
You do know them, eh, Ella?
Oh, only as customers. They come in here now and then for a drink. I don't know nothing else about them.
Do you know they just got out of the pen?
I don't know nothing about them.
Hey, yo, pour us a nice bar of beer. Oh, pardon me.
Just a minute, young fella. Who are you?
Why, my name's Ted Powers. I didn't know Ella was busy. I'll be going along.
Oh, no, you won't.
Well, I got an important thing I gotta do.
You're going to stay here until we ask you some questions.
Yeah? Who are you?
I think you've recognized us already. We're police officers.
Well, so what?
You come here often?
Yeah, every now and then.
What for?
Oh, just a tea, Ella.
And to get a bottle of beer, huh?
What's it to you?
Were you here last night?
No, I've been home. I can prove I
Now,
was.
look here, son. Don't be so tough about it. You're not under suspicion. We're just trying to get a line on who shot that officer last night. If you know anything about it, you can help us.
No, I don't want to get in a jam.
You won't get into any jam. You don't look like a gunman to us.
No, it was like this. I was coming in through a back door when the shooting happened.
Oh, you were, huh?
Yeah, I stopped by for a drink. And I seen that curly-haired guy shoot the cop. So I got scared and run. I just stopped by now to find out from Ella what was all about.
Who was this curly-haired guy?
I don't know. I've never seen him before.
Did you recognize him again?
Yeah, I think I could.
Yeah, good. Now, you better give us your name and address, son, so we can get in touch with you.
For the next 12 days, Lieutenant Hawtrey and his companions searched for clues of the missing criminal. But nothing developed until the morning of December 20th, when Hawtrey received a telephone call.
Central Detective Hawtrey speaking.
Hey, I got a suspicious car out here in my garage.
What do you mean, suspicious?
Well, it's a Dodge touring car, and it's all covered with mud, and there's 2 rifles and a lot of cartridges in it. Doesn't look right to me.
What's the license number?
It's 127348.
Got the engine number?
Yeah, 12D 89076613.
12D 89076613.
That's right.
Where's your garage located?
1320 Los Angeles Street.
Okay, we'll check on it. And don't let that car out until you hear from us.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's take a look at this car. Where is it?
Right over here. Must have been doing some tough driving from the looks of the mud on it.
Yeah.
How about it, Lieutenant? Is it hot?
Yep. License plates are registered to another car, and the motor number is the same as a car stolen in Tulare a week or so ago.
I thought there was something funny about it.
Now, what about those guns you said?
Hey, Lieutenant, there's the men that left the car coming in now. Those 2 fellas in the Mackinac.
Yeah, they've seen us. They're walking out again. Come on, Hawtrey.
Hey, you, just a minute. Both of you.
Hi, what's the matter?
You're under arrest.
Yeah, what for?
Suspicion of grand larceny.
We didn't steal nothing.
Nothing but that car in there.
What car? I don't know what you're talking about.
Search them, Hawtrey.
Okay. No guns. Uh-oh, here's a key. A Dodge ignition key. So, you don't know anything about that car, huh?
Yeah, it was a...
And here's a card from the Armstrong Hotel on Wall Street.
Now, look here, boys. I'll take the fall for that car. Oh, the sheriff's innocent. I just give him the key so he can take it over here to be washed. Let me take the rap and let him go.
Not a chance. I think the chief will want to talk to you about some other things. Come on, Evans. We'll take them in, and then we'll look up this Armstrong Hotel.
At headquarters, the 2 men are fingerprinted and quickly recognized as William F. Lehman and Otis Molan, both ex-convicts. Hawtrey and Evans' next move is to show their pictures to the landlady at the Armstrong Hotel.
Why, yes, I recognize them, too. Why, they had a room here until about a week ago.
Anybody else live here with them?
No, but they have some friends here. Some fellas in 106. They still come to see sometimes.
What do these men in 106 look like?
Well, now, one of them is sort of short, and he has curly sandy hair, and then the
That's
other
Curly
has...
Richards, all right.
Are they in now?
No, I don't think anyone's in there.
Okay, we'll just go in and wait for them.
Hawtrey phones for reinforcements and is soon joined by several more detectives. For 3 hours, the officers sit in the darkened room, not daring to speak, not daring to smoke. And then about 10 o'clock, a man enters the room, switches on the light, and turns to face a half-dozen blue steel revolvers.
Well, if it isn't Frank McGandless.
Say, what is this?
Yeah, I guess you know without us telling you. Might as well come clean. Where's Curly?
Well, I don't know. I guess he'll be dragging in pretty soon, him and Fred.
Fred who?
Fred Johnson. He's a friend of Curly's.
Where's he from?
I don't know. I met them both at Folsom.
Just out, huh? And all three of you trying to see how quick you can get back in.
Were you in on the shooting of Officer Connie?
No, sir, I was not.
Now, we want Curly for that shooting.
I know you do, but you don't want me. I wasn't even there.
What have you been doing for a living, you three?
Oh, odd job.
Odd jobs, huh? Odd burglary job?
What do you know about that shooting?
Nothing. I've shot off my mouth too much as it is. You're not going to get nothing more out of me.
That's okay with us. Take him in, Mellon, and we'll talk at headquarters.
Once more, the silent stakeout is resumed. A half hour or more elapses, and then another man, carrying a suitcase, enters the room and switches on the light.
Drop that suitcase and stick him up.
Hey, what is this?
You're under arrest. See what's in that suitcase, Evans.
Okay.
Hey, what's the charge?
Well, here's a fur coat, 3 automatics, and Carney's gun, flashlight, and handcuffs.
Well, we can make the charge carrying concealed weapons, suspicion of grand larceny, or assault with a deadly weapon. What would you like?
Now, look here.
Where did you get this suitcase?
Well, a fellow gave it to me to keep for him.
You're lying. Take him in.
The illuminated hands of the alarm clock on the desk move toward midnight before the next visitor arrives at the room.
You open it, Evans, and throw the lights at the same time.
Okay.
Hello, boys. Well, what the devil?
Stick him up.
I haven't any cat.
Frisk him, Evans.
Okay.
What's your name?
Tommy Watson.
Pretty young to be running around with a crowd like these guys. Do you live here?
No,
Where do you live?
with my mother.
What do you know about the guys that live here?
Well, nothing, only they're friends of Mars.
Friends of your ma's, huh?
Yeah.
And that'd make you Ella Watson's son, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh. You better get over there on Stanford Avenue to Ellis, Bartley, and see if Curly's there.
Oh, well, we don't live on Stanford Avenue anymore.
Well, your ma's moved, huh?
Yeah.
Where do you live now?
Over in Glendale.
Where in Glendale?
On Postal Avenue.
What's the number?
635.
Okay. Get over there, Bartley, and you'd better go with him, Jackson. We'll wait here for you in case Curly comes in.
For 2 hours, the officers hold young Tommy in the room at the Armstrong Hotel, but no one else appears. Then in the early morning, Jackson and Mellon return.
Well, what did you find?
Nothing.
What do you mean?
The kid led us on a wild goose chase. There's an old couple living at that address, and they never heard Ella.
Look here, kid. What's the big idea?
Well, I didn't want
Listen, kid, you're laying yourself open to arrest for harboring a
to...
criminal.
Yeah, but I ain't going to squeal on my ma and Curly.
Oh, so Curly's with your ma now, huh?
Yeah, they sent me over to find out where Mac and Johnson were.
Well, kid, you're in a pretty tough jam, and the quickest way for you to get out is to take us to your ma's new joint right away.
Well...
You wouldn't want to spend a term at Ione Reformatory, would you?
No, but...
Okay, we'll forget all about it if you'll take us over there.
Well, okay. But you better leave my ma alone.
We don't want your ma. We want Curly.
A few minutes later, Tommy leads the officers down the ill-smelling hall of a hotel on East 6th Street.
Now, remember, don't give us away.
Okay, I know what I'm to do.
Who is it?
It's me, Ma. I got the cops with me.
That little double cross. Open up. Open that door. We'll break it in.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Now, what seems to be the matter?
Take that room, Evans. Jackson, you search that one.
Tell me what's the big idea of bringing the cops in here, you dirty little stool
I
pigeon.
couldn't help it, Ma. They made me, George.
Wait till I get my hand on you. I'll fix you.
Hey, Hopper, here he is under the bed.
Good.
Now that Curly and no funny business. We got you covered.
What's this all about, boys? What are you looking for me for?
I guess you know, Curly, or do you make a habit of sleeping under bed?
You're under arrest, Curly, for robbery and assault with intent to commit murder.
The following day, Richards, Johnson, and Mullen admit that they were the men who faced Officer Carney, and Richards admits firing the shot. Hotway carefully examines the fur coat and the silverware found in the Armstrong Hotel room and makes an interesting discovery.
Evans, I found that the number in this fur coat corresponds to the one stolen from the Regal mansion in Spokane a few weeks ago.
Oh, that's the job where they got away with $10,000 worth of stuff in broad daylight, isn't it?
That's it. And this silverware seems to check with that. It all bears the initial R. And I believe these boys that we've got upstairs pulled a lot of local jobs, too.
How are we going to pin it on them?
Well, I believe I can talk to them and make them come clean.
Talk to them with what? A length of hose?
No, I mean really talk to them. I believe you can reason with a crook just the same as anyone else.
A copper can never reason with a crook.
Well, we'll see. Suppose you bring Lehman down from his cell.
Okay, but I think you're nuts.
Well, my way is worth a try.
Defiant, expecting the third degree, Lehman is led from his cell to a little room in the basement of the old jail. Hawtrey approaches him as man to man.
Hello, Lehman. Sit down. Well, we've identified some of the stuff in that suitcase as coming from that Regal robbery up in Spokane.
Well, what of it?
Well, it sort of looks as though we've got a closed case against all five of you on that job alone. But in addition, Richards, Mullen, and Johnson have admitted shooting Officer Carney. They'll get at least 14 years.
Come on. What's this got to do with me?
Well, just this. You all have to do it, Stretch. There's no way around that.
Yeah?
But I'm convinced that you men have pulled a lot of jobs around L.A., and, Lehman, I'd like to get your assistance in clearing them up and returning the stolen property to their owners as far as possible.
Yeah, well, what do I get out of it?
Nothing. We can't offer you immunity. You know that, Lehman. But I will promise you this. We won't file charges against you on any cases you clear up that we don't know about now.
Well, I don't see why I should be the fall guy.
Listen, Lehman. Let's understand each other. I'm making this request of you as one man to another. You're in a position to help us out and still not harm yourself.
Well, what do you want to know?
I want to know what part, if any, you played in the shooting of Carney. I want to know what burglaries you've committed and the addresses as far as you can remember them, what you took, and where you disposed of it. What do you say?
Well, I'll tell you how I feel. When you brought me down here, I thought I was going to get the third degree. I made up my mind I'd die before I'd tell you a thing. Gee, you're a white man, Lieutenant. I feel now as though I want to do the right thing. I'm willing to go halfway with you.
That's fine, Lehman.
If you'll give me a half hour with each of the boys in his own cell, I'll see if I can talk them into it. But there's one thing I want you to know right now.
What's that?
I'm not going to snitch on them. I'm no lousy stool pigeon like that McCandless.
What do you mean? He hasn't told me anything about you boys.
Don't give me that. I know that it's squealed.
Oh, you're wrong there, Lehman.
Now, listen, Lieutenant, I figure that you and me is on the up and up with each other, see? Now, don't go spoiling it by lying to me. We all know you brought Mac down here as a blind and swung him after you got me.
All right. Have it your own way.
Well, how about it? You want me to talk to the boys?
Yes, that'll be okay. You talk to each one of them and let me know what they have to say.
Hawtrey gets an idea from Lehman's scathing denunciation of McCandless. And while the latter is consulting with his companions, Hawtrey pays McCandless a visit in his cell.
McCandless, we sent your picture to Spokane, and you've been identified by the gardener at the Regal estate as the man that knocked him out.
Yeah, that'll have to be proved.
Oh, it wouldn't be so hard. You're over 6 feet tall, and all your partners are shorter. And do you think for a moment that old man's going to forget your face?
No, it's a cinch he'll know me when he sees me.
Okay, you'd better go to Spokane and answer to their charges.
Me go to Spokane? Why should I go?
Well, the strongest reason I know is that all your friends figure you for a stool pigeon.
They do? How's that?
Search me, but I can't talk them out of it. They figure you finked on them.
But I didn't.
No, of course not. That is, not exactly. But the point is that when they go to trial, they'll be forced to implicate you, and you'll go back to Folsom with them. And you know what happens to finks in the pen.
Gee, that's right.
It isn't very pleasant going in with that rep. The whole place will be wise to you in 24 hours, and your life will be hell.
Yeah.
That's why I figure you'd be smart to take that rap for the Regal robbery and go to Washington State Pen where they don't know you.
You're right, Lieutenant. Send me back to Spokane. I'll cop a plea there.
By this clever piece of strategy, Lieutenant Hawtrey disposes of one of the gang and returns to his office for the verdict from Lehman. After an hour or so, Lehman reports that Curley and Fred Johnson are willing to talk, but Otis Molan is still reticent. However, Molan joins the other three as they enter the basement room with Evans and Hawtrey. An embarrassed silence ensues as the four criminals eye each other. Then Lehman speaks.
Well, I guess I might as well start the ball rolling. I'll tell you about the jobs I worked on, but I won't mention the names of the guys that worked with me, see? Each guy will speak for himself, and no one can accuse any of us of being a stoolie, you get me?
Fair enough, Lehman. Go ahead. Get to your notes, Sergeant.
Well, when I got out of Folsom, I stayed on working on the road gang, and a friend of mine showed up and pulled me off the job. Copped a Dodge touring car in Tulare and burgled a hardware store in Pixley. Then we come to Lost and picked up 3 more men. Went to Spokane and cased Mr. Regal's joint. One of the men worked for him once. We took everything we could get there and then started south. In Ventura County, we pulled a few store burglaries. Then we come back to Lost, and this Carney shooting occurred. Well, I guess it's in order for me to say that I didn't figure personally in the shooting. I didn't know anything about it after it was all over. But I did go with the boys to Reno, where we hid out until we heard that Carney was going to get well. Then we come back to town, and, well, I guess you know the rest of it.
Yeah. Who's next?
I'll go. I was one of the men in the bunch with Lehman. Yeah, I was present when Carney was shot, and I figured in all the jobs Lehman told you about.
Okay, Johnson. What have you got to say, Mullen?
Same here. I was with Lehman on all the jobs, and I was present when Carney was shot.
That leaves me. I was in on all the jobs, and I fired the shot at Carney. But it was an accident. I didn't intend to shoot the gun. I just wanted to scare him.
That's fine, boys. And I want to thank you for playing ball with us.
Oh, that's okay, Lieutenant. You know, one of the rules we live by is never give a cop an uneven break, see? When we meet a dick like you that's willing to treat us like human beings, well, it makes a big difference, see?
Through the cooperation of the 4 criminals, much of the stolen property was recovered. All 4 men eventually pled guilty to their crimes, and Richards, Nealon, and Johnson were sentenced to Folsom Penitentiary for 14 years each on a charge of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to commit murder. And Lehman went to Folsom for from 1 to 15 years on a charge of first-degree burglary. McAndalus, falsely accused by his pals, took a sentence of from 5 to 10 years in the Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla, Washington.
Thank you, Chief Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are Mr. or Mrs. Average Motorist, you are not interested in technical statements about gasoline. But here's one that may interest you. When you hear advertising claims, not facts, about a gasoline being the highest octane leader, remember this scientific fact. Cracked gasoline averages 10 points higher in anti-knock rating than gasoline which is not cracked. Hot summer weather increases the knock in your motor, and summer driving is harder on your car. Rio Grande Cracked with tetraethyl will see you through this summer with greater driving comfort. Use the same gasoline in your car that in the Southwest powers so many police cars, fire engines, ambulances, and other emergency equipment. Buy Rio Grande Cracked and have the satisfaction of police car performance in your car. The new radio log for August is now available, containing a complete list of forthcoming cases to be broadcast on Calling All Cars and another Rio Grande radio program. Drive into your neighborhood Rio Grande service station tomorrow and ask for the August radio log. It's free.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Cancellation broadcast 38 regarding the shooting of an officer. Suspects in this case now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
This episode of Calling All Cars was obtained from the confidential files of the Los Angeles Police Department by Madeline Kelly and was adapted for radio by William N. Robson. The orchestra is under the direction of Frederick Stark. And this is Frederick Lindsley saying good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company.